city, the harbor of Manama was a busy mixture of the new and the old. From dhows like Sinbad must have sailed to modern jetliners. At sea, Hamad's loneliness was gone. Here he was in his element, and the overnight sail would be as good as a holiday. Once they were anchored over the oyster beds, the vacation was over. The pearl diver's profession demands unrelenting hard work from early morning till the light fails in late afternoon. The waters of the Arabian Gulf are a good deal saltier than the open sea. This means greater buoyancy, so the divers must use weights to help them reach the bottom. Time-honored techniques used to build the pearling dhows are almost modern compared to those used by the divers. No masks or goggles, no fins, only a nose clip made of bone. All this has hardly changed since Dilmun first earned fame as the great supplier of pearls over 5,000 years ago. And to this day, Bahraini pearls are considered among the finest in the world. Was half of a two-man team. On deck, his partner waited for the signal to haul him back to the surface as quickly as possible. Didn't get to take many breaks, but when they did, Jumar always made sure Hamad got the chance to get in some practice. Hamad tried to be serious about it, but Jumar wasn't about to let him. Neither was anybody else aboard. Most of the divers could stay underwater a good 2 minutes. But by the time Hamad reached the bottom, he was just about ready to start back again. The quantity, Jumar decided, was a bit more impressive than the quality. Hamad's haul included a clam, a scallop, and a couple of snails. Unfortunately, no oysters. Meanwhile, there was plenty of light left, and still a lot of work to do. It wasn't until the end of day that the crew learned how well they had done. Then, under the watchful eyes of the captain and the first mate, and by tradition, in complete silence, the divers and their helpers opened the oysters. The old hands, of course, had found many pearls in their day, but to Hamad, it was still a new and exciting experience. Periodically, it was Juma's job to gather the pearls for delivery to the captain for safekeeping. It looked like the start of a good trip. At the end of the voyage, the proceeds would be divided up according to previous arrangements. Part for the captain and part for the diving teams, who would all share equally. There would be no oyster stew for dinner, since the pearlers believe that returning the empty shells to the sea helps enrich the beds for the coming season. With one oyster bed depleted, they set sail for another. And so it went, through all the sunlit hours of 5 summer days. On the afternoon of the 6th day, Hamad learned an important lesson in Gulf seamanship: an undersea freshwater spring. The name Bahrain means 2 seas, perhaps because of the reservoir of fresh water which exists beneath this portion of the Gulf, and here and there bubbles up through the sea bottom. Now Hamad would learn how to fill a water skin right down at the mouth of the spring before the fresh water could mix with the salty. With the water bags full, they returned to the regular evening routine. While the enticing smell of dinner cooking wafted from the galley, Hamad set about making coffee. Just one of a long list of his small duties as all-round helper. Unfortunately, the Ghazala's peaceful schedule was in for a rude interruption. They were about to be hit by a shamal, a sudden violent windstorm from the north, common to this area. Safety demanded that they raise anchor and run with the storm, using the auxiliary motor. Even if it did mean everyone had to go hungry for a while. Everything on deck had to be secured, and quickly. Only now, with the storm almost upon them, did Hamad remember he had flag duty. He would have to take it down before it could be ripped to shreds by the wind. The pearls were the captain's responsibility. They'd be safest if he carried them. guys found Hamad exhausted but alive. He had no idea where he was. Land might lie just beyond the horizon, but which way? Chance, though, had done him one favor, floating him within reach of an undersea spring. But the water was too deep. Without a weight to carry him to the bottom, there was no way Hamad could ever reach the fresh water. All he could do was hang on and endure the passage of interminable hours and unbearable heat.